I want to tell you the story of my love, that it goes into the far reaches of the globe and into the hearts of people everywhere. It touches lives in the depths of despair and on the heights of mountaintops. It is deep and far and wide. It's my love that transforms. It's my love that needs to be shared. My love looks like truth and freedom. My love looks like hands and feet in the mud, making meals, wiping tears, driving people around, cleaning gutters, mowing lawns, not being critical, but rather speaking encouragement and sharing kindness. My love looks like my son and his church doing everything on earth I desire for them to do.
We show love to others in a variety of ways. Sometimes it's quite tangible. Within the social services, sometimes that looks like food parcels. It might look like mentoring or conversation. It might look like the provision of a program for serious young offenders. As showing love often looks like patience. It looks like seeing the gold in people, even when it's hard to find sometimes. It's very easy to label people, but we have to look for and show the love to the person who's underneath what everybody sees on the outside. Sadly, I get to see what happens when people don't get love, and when you can see the impacts that it has on people who have not experienced love or known love. The negative impacts of that are huge, and not just for that person, but generationally. So what really motivates me is to be able to love on that person, to change their story, to teach them how to love on others, parents how to love their kids, kids how to love their mums, siblings how to engage and interact, and even just people's relationships. Because ultimately, if they experience love, they're a better person, they're a whole person, and even more so if they come to know the Father's love.
I love how when you walk through these doors that there's no wall that's inviting. I love the mahi that we do here, that we're giving back to the community and helping our community feel loved and welcome without no pressure. My passion is working with our rangatahi, and when society condemns them because they're hood rats, I try to encourage them, I guess you could say, to show those people that they're not real hood rats, that they can be successful, and also prove to themselves that they can do it. When everybody else sees nothing but darkness, I can only see them. No judgment, just a kid that they want to be. When they can't see it, I can. So I try and help them nurture that. And that's how I show love to our rangatahi. One of our boys that came into our program last year, he came in and he was rough as nails. He's a tiny little thing, no bigger than my leg. But he was rough. His mouth was filthy. Blank disregard for people in terms of respect and the rules. So 2 months ago, we started one-to-one mentoring, and this is only part of his healing and part of his journey. But since we've been doing our one-to-one mentoring, what I've noticed is he's smiling more, he's laughing more, he's showing a little bit more respect. Doesn't seem as angry as he was, doesn't seem as rough as he was. But he's a kid that looks like he's trying to enjoy his life. Seeing these kids walk through our doors all sheltered, scared, not knowing what to expect, and just seeing their transformation and confidence, and smiling and happy. They're just happy that someone cares for them this much to help them and support them. We support them, but they do the work. And seeing them go from scared to confident, it's amazing. And I'm glad I do what I do.
We work with clients who have very high needs and are at very high risk. Serving them requires patience, kindness, and being consistent with them. When they see us standing with them and for them, it brings in transformation and change. That's our way of showing we care and we love them. Last year, I worked with a very tired single mom whose children had some very high needs. Supporting her, sowing seeds of self-care, and providing parenting tips, I could see change taking place. Her dressing style evolved, her confidence grew, her posture changed. She was a new person. I wish I had taken a before and after picture to see the difference.
Recently, Property Link had the opportunity to work with some students building some kids' BBQ tables. And there was this one young gentleman who really showed an interest, and he was quite excited, and he got in their boots and all and really leading the way and encouraging his peers and doing a great job. So over the next couple of weeks, as we were building other tables, this particular young guy was really taking a lead and doing a really good job. I said to him, oh, you should apply for the Wintec Trades course because you've got a real flair for building. And it was just left at that. Anyway, a few months later, as I was driving through the drive-through at Macca's, this particular young guy was on the service window. And he goes, Matua. He says, I've got a part-time job here now, and I've applied for the Wintec Trades course, which starts at the start of the year. And he was just so excited. And I said, well done, good on you. It was great to see he was a young guy, felt he was in his lane, he had purpose. It was so encouraging for him, and it was encouraging for me. It was encouraging for my peers who work with these students to show that God has us placed here for a reason and why we do what we do.
There's a number of ways that our students need help. So we start from picking them up sometimes in the mornings, breakfasts, pastoral care conversations, all those sorts of things that help create a safe learning environment for our students that they want to be in. We have students that come to us who have never achieved a credit through the schooling system, and we celebrate that with them. We get to celebrate those first credits, and when they get to pass their qualification, it's the first thing that they've ever achieved in terms of a qualification, and it's wonderful to be a part of that. And a lot of their stories are that they are the first people in their whānau to receive a qualification for as far back as they remember. We get the opportunity to really encourage their parents as well. So often we have phone calls and messages with our parents and our tutors, and the parents will say, oh, what have they done now, when they answer the phone, because that's what they're used to from school. But we get to say, hey, they've had a really good day. This is what they did today. It was awesome. And we get to celebrate with them. And so we get parents who say to us, thank you for the impact that you're having on my child's life. We're seeing a difference at home now, not just in their schooling, but in their home environment as well. So we have numerous stories of students, of whānau, and I really believe we are impacting future generations here at Vision College.
Everybody who walks through the door gets a big smile and a hello. It's one of the things, like, you walk around this place and like everybody is smiling at you. I think that's because we acknowledge and see that every single person is a beautiful masterpiece by our Creator and has His fingerprints all over them. And so we want everybody to know and to feel that they are special and that they are seen and that they are loved. I show love to those around me by looking to see who they really are, to speak words of love and life and truth and hope over them. Sometimes we don't see the greatness that is within us, and we need others to be able to speak that. And so that's what I try and do, is to ask God to show me who He sees these people as and to speak that over them. Yes, God moments for me are when I see students that are breaking free of lies that they have told about themselves, or they've believed about themselves, I should say, or that others have said about themselves. And they've seen that they are more than what they have previously thought that they are, that they can do amazing things, that they are capable, that they are loved, that they are funny, that they have gifts and skills, that they have a future.
We share God's love not only with our staff and our students, but also our stakeholders in small ways and in big ways. It might be making somebody a coffee, it might be sitting down with somebody who is struggling with a situation, or it might be sharing our faith and encouraging somebody on their journey to find and discover life with Jesus. It's all about giving to make a difference, bringing heaven to earth. That's how we show our love.
It's been a bit of a tough time economically for the education sector lately, and so as a team we had been discussing some ways we could make a difference to our customers who were struggling, and so we'd come up with a pricing strategy, and then we got an order from a customer and they had paid the higher price, and so I rang the customer and spoke to them, offered them the new discounted pricing that we'd come up with, and this precious customer just burst into tears on the phone. She explained that it had been a really tough time. Their business is in the Hawke's Bay and they'd had Cyclone Gabrielle last year, and she was just overwhelmed at the offer that we were making and said it would just make a significant difference to her business, which works with at-risk youth, helping them have a second chance at learning. And so I was really thrilled that we just happened to make that call at the right time for this customer, and that we can make a difference for her and the work that she's doing.
At Little London, we show love to our patients by doing our best to create a peaceful, welcoming environment where people feel safe and cared for. We work hard to provide personalised healthcare where the health needs of a whole person are considered: their physical health, their mental and emotional health, and their spiritual health needs, as well as that of their whānau and the community as a whole. So recently I've been journeying with a patient who's had an unexpected serious diagnosis. I gave the bad news, organised urgent treatment for her, and explained what was happening. More importantly though, we've been able to explore the emotional and spiritual needs she has as she deals with this diagnosis.
So at Little London Medical here, we are a very close-knit little team. We work well together, and I feel as a team we push to get the best care for our patients possible. It is said that we go above and beyond. However, I don't feel that is above and beyond. I don't think the bare minimum is actually good enough for patient care, and I will always do more than the standard and bare minimum to get the best result for that patient. So those God moments where I've gone, yes, this is why I do what I do, thank you, Lord. I have those moments every day. We see so many heartbroken patients. We see so many people coming in with acute conditions and crisis, seeing the help and support we can refer them onto, or actually give them some support. Sometimes it is just sitting there and listening, and that is all that they need, and being able to allow that time for them to be able to do that for them instead of rush, this is your appointment, you've got to leave now.
but also seeing the families that are doing well and giving them that support, little bits of advice, bringing kids in when they're healthy, and just seeing people through the lifespan, learning more about different types of health and well-being, and learning from my patients every day.
Our Activate Tuako community is incredibly big-hearted. Every Sunday at our gatherings, the welcome will always be warm and friendly. But also throughout the week, we run a free community barbecue every second Friday, and it's just so well received by our local community. We'll often get the question, why do you do this? Why is it free? And of course, the answer is always love. It's just such a great practical expression of Jesus' love for our community. You know, everything Jesus did was motivated by a heart of love and compassion for people. So I guess for me, it's as simple as seeing people through the same lens that Jesus does. What that means is that every moment is an opportunity. Every conversation is an opportunity to bring hope, to bring life, to bring love, to release kingdom purpose over people and in their world and whatever situation they may be facing. So for me, loving people is as simple as taking every opportunity, making the most of those encounters that God brings along my path. So really for me, it's the little moments that make a difference, where I see people in their lives making a decision that maybe a month before they wouldn't have made, that's going to bring them closer to Jesus, where they're letting go of things that have held them back in the past. You know, really it's just the one step at a time where they're being changed inwardly to become more like Jesus. That's the reason that I do what I do, and it's just such a privilege to walk with people, and that's why I say yes, awesome, thank you, God.
A few months ago, we had quite a big night for baptisms. We had 5 people getting baptized after the 6 p.m. gathering. And it was so incredible to watch these 5 people get up, share about why they are taking this next step of faith, how God has so radically impacted their lives, and then taking that next step of public declaration of their faith, and having this whole community. We had the whole church gathering around them, cheering them on. It was so beautiful. For me, showing love looks a lot like making the time and effort to get to know people. I think a lot of people struggle to feel loved when they don't feel seen, and I know that I've found that in my own personal experiences, and so I try and make the effort, and I'm not perfect, but I try and make the effort to get to know people and to be present with people whenever I'm around them. I find that often opens the door for incredible connections and relationships and friendships, and I think at the very core of our desire as human beings is to feel known, and then through feeling known, to feel loved.
When I think about sharing love in my workplace, there's a story that I think of straight away, and it was when we were in the old Ruakura site, and there was a man from the community, and he walked through the tunnel, and he came and sat along the fence in our car park, and I remember seeing him from the upstairs offices and went down and had a chat with him. He had his hands in his face, he was crying, and after a bit of conversation, I soon realised that this man was deciding whether he wanted to take his life or not. And so I remember I was telling him about the hope that I found in Jesus and telling him that he can find it too. And we didn't get too far on that day necessarily. But I remember on Sunday, a few days later, that man walked through the door and I couldn't believe my eyes. I was like, come on, he's here. And he responded to the gospel that Sunday, gave his life to Jesus and changed his life.
I love others because God loves me. Every person on this earth is created in the image of God and worthy of love. He's done so much for all of us, and an expression of gratitude is to love others in return.
Well, God is a perfect example of loving unconditionally. He loves each and every one of us. He created each and every one of us. And He's given each and every one of us many talents and abilities, and for us to express in our time that He's granted us here on earth. And so what I enjoy and love doing is getting alongside people that I can journey with, encouraging and inspiring them, motivating them, speaking into their lives, and being a great listener. And because God is all of that to me.
Jesus said that we would be known as His disciples by our love for others, and His love transformed my life when, as a 15-year-old, I encountered Him and experienced that unconditional just depth of the love that Jesus had for me as a person. It was a life-changing experience. And I like to think that I can love others, seeing the fingerprint of God on their life, knowing that He knows them by name and has a plan and a purpose for their life, and that by loving them, in a way, I'm expressing back to God the love that He had for me.
I love others because He first loved me. He's given me a capacity to love. You know, He transformed me, He changed me, He turned my world upside down for the better. And I know that if He can take something that was as broken as I was, then there's so much opportunity that He has for others also. So I guess I just want to show them what the difference He can make in their world. And I do that through loving them.
Transformation looks like you bringing people into my heart because of your love for them. It is activated. And then I activate my love in them to love others. My love is contagious. Now go, spread my love to others.